In Louisiana on April 21st, a pastor was arrested for having church gatherings and assaulting protesters trying to stop the congregation from meeting. However, many churches throughout the nation have found ways to meet while still being socially distant. I'm standing here on the campus of First Christian Church of Huntington Beach, which is unusually empty for a Sunday. And that's because for over a month, First Christian Church has been meeting online through live broadcasts. However, some staff and volunteers are still required to gather in person to make these live broadcasts happen, which leaves people wondering, is even online church safe?
Streaming faith-based services was considered, and still is to this day, considered an essential service. So we put ourselves in that category. We're a church. This is a faith-based live stream. So there's kind of the first token is we established, okay, this is an essential thing. We believe this is important. Our governments believe that it's an essential enough thing to be important. So then we move to the safety side, which is what do we do? How do we best protect ourselves? So every single week when we get here, me and a couple people go through the entire spaces that we use. This studio that I'm sitting in, a studio that's across from me, and one of our other studios, and we sanitize everything that's touched.
Aside from sanitizing, Jordan Tanache informed me that volunteer camera operators stand 6 feet apart and are socially distant. I talked to one of the volunteers about safety in the studios.
Volunteering at FCC has been very different than it used to be with the COVID-19 outbreak. To stay safe, we are sanitizing our equipment and ourselves before and after use. Also, one of the producers we have, he checks in on us every Friday before we show up to make sure we're still healthy, to make sure we haven't done anything that would jeopardize other people's lives when we show up. We mostly try to stay 6 feet apart, but when we can't, we have to wear masks, but it's very rare that we have to be that close together.
While safety is top priority, FCCHB has other reasons for going live 3 times each weekend.
We really want to be live to be with our people because even though we can't gather in person, we can gather together collectively as people in our homes. And ultimately, the church was never about being a building, because in times like this, times like these, this is a really trying time. It's a really hard time for some people. It's a hard time for all of us, but more difficult especially for those that are kind of displaced right now or put out of work. People are looking for hope.
First Christian Church and other churches are providing people with a service that many consider essential and are trying to do it safely. So while there are some churches making news for irresponsibility, many are rising to the challenges that quarantine is presenting. This is Emma Sexton for Chapman News.